my goal, my hole-in-one, my 9 data, my undisputed championship is hitting my numbers and taking the business to the next level. Whether that's another round of investment, whether that's an inevitable float on the stock market, I have numbers and targets to hit whatever way. Whether I'm running Riyadh season at the front, whether I'm making deals around the back for my fighters and taking a commission on my fight, like it doesn't matter to me.
British boxing promoter Eddie Hearn has shockingly decided to part ways with His Excellency Turki Alalshikh after the recent changes in the boxing landscape. On the contrary, Hearn revealed that a lot of people have been making memes about him and questioning his position as a boxing promoter now that Dana White has stepped in with Turki Alalshikh. He said that he has a huge enough business to shut everyone up and couldn't care less if he is the middleman, frontman, or has stepped away from the Riyadh season.
You know, I don't get the narrative of like, it's quite funny because like, I saw Lou's bit, I only saw a couple of clips ago and he said, yeah, how does Eddie feel now, motherfucker? He's a middleman. I'm like, I don't care what I am. Do you not understand? What I do is I make money. I make the world of boxing go round. I have a fucking huge business that is one of the most successful sports businesses in the world. And whether I'm a front man, back man, middle man, I could not care less.
Eddie Hearn also said that business is a game and it's like a sport for him, so it doesn't matter if Turki keeps him by his side or not. Hearn said that he joked about cleaning Turki's shoes, and that became an internet meme for him. He stated that he knows exactly who he is and can do great things even without the huge investors because his business is already that great.
I'm well past the ego stage of, and this is what I've always said to you about Turki Alalshikh. Like, you know, people, I mean, when I said I'd clean his shoes, I mean, it was a little bit like tongue-in-cheek, but I don't know, like, you know, quick buff. It doesn't make me a bad person, does it? But what I'm saying to you is I know what I am, where the company is, and the most important thing for me, you have to understand, like, to explain the mindset, business is a game. It's a sport for me.
With the landscape of boxing changing very rapidly ever since the involvement of Dana White and Turki Alalshikh, Eddie Hearn is unsure if the UFC model can thrive in boxing. He stated, I think Dana has a great spot in MMA where you can control the fighter, the commercial, everything. You have to do what you're told. Hearn commented that no one can control a fighter in boxing just like in the UFC, and they won't be happy with the pay cut either. He added, that's not really gonna work in boxing. Also, fighters are drastically overpaid in boxing and the margins in MMA are different, so it's going to be interesting. On the contrary, Hearn was asked to share his thoughts on Dana's involvement in boxing and what it means for all the promoters out there. He said that he doesn't even care what happens to the boxing landscape right now. He added that even Turki was surprised to see how chill he is, and he couldn't care less how White would handle things from now on.
You feel slighted by His Excellency putting Dana White on such a high pedestal of somebody who has zero experience in a successful boxing promotion?
Honestly, and this is just speaking just from the heart, couldn't give a shit. And, you know, I had a conversation with His Excellency the other day and we were laughing about the fact that I couldn't care less. Like, I'm so chilled. You know, some people kind of, boxing's really weird. Right, it's a really weird
yeah, it is.
Where it's like
American promoter Lou DiBella made fun of Eddie Hearn and mentioned that he is a middleman in boxing now. Hearn was relaxed and said that he isn't worried about those harsh comments because he is focused on growing his fighters and making the business thrive.
You follow people, I was like, you know, Lou DiBella, good friend, right? We don't always see eye to eye. He's on this thing the other day, he's, see you guys now, you're just a middleman. It's like, bro, what are you worried about? Like, see me. I don't care if I'm a front, back, middle, whatever man it is. All I care about is the business, the fighters, making money, hitting targets, growing my company, floating on the stock market, and enjoying the ride of boxing.
Later on, Eddie pointed towards Lou DiBella and said that it's a really bad and toxic trait for a person to see others suffer and then make fun of them. He said that if they work with Riyadh Season and Turki Alalshikh, then it's a win-win situation for all, but it wouldn't matter either way.
That's it. And however that comes, if you believe in yourself, you don't worry. It's a real toxic trait to be thinking about what effect it might be on others and like, it's just, that's real bad. That's a bad attribute in life. For me, I look at it like this. If we carry on with Riyadh season and Ring Magazine, which I'm certain we are going to, great.
Eddie Hearn denies that boxing is broken after UFC President Dana White signed a deal with Saudi Arabian investors. White declared in some interviews that they will rebuild boxing from the ground up and have their own world titles. Hearn took issue with White and gave a solid counter-argument in support of boxing's original model. Eddie stated, "I think it's great for boxing. One thing I disagree with is boxing's not broken. Boxing is in a great place. It always has been. There's always ways we can improve it, but the fact those guys want to come into boxing shows where it's at." Furthermore, Hearn mentioned that if he and the other promoters are involved with Dana White and the TKO, then they will have a great time. He also said that if Dana wants to fight with all the promoters, then he is ready to take him on, along with all the other promoters. Eddie commented that there has been a lot of speculation whether Dana would be good for boxing or not. He mentioned that there is no way White will be bad for boxing.
If we work with Dana and TKO, great. If Dana wants to take on other promoters and wants a fight, great. I'm up for that. It's all great. Because it's just life. It's just every day. It's a new challenge. And whatever way we go, we're ready. We're the best at what we do. And we're up for the challenge, however that might come. So, people say, oh, do you really think it's good that Dana's getting into boxing? Yes. How can you possibly not think it's good that Dana White's getting into boxing? Of course it is.
In addition to his previous remarks, Hearn said that boxing would never work on the model of the UFC, where fighters are continuously controlled. He said that Dana's model would use the existing fighters and have them controlled through a single commission, which would be devastating.
Now, is the league going to be good? Is it going to be a success? I have my own opinions on what the league might look like, because I think the perception is it's going to be AJ, Fury, Javante. No, I don't think so. I think they're going to be building talent and existing fighters and getting those people under control to do whatever they're instructed to do. Boxing don't work like that.
On the other hand, Dana White has shaken the boxing world by belittling the Muhammad Ali Act. TKO Holdings and White's new policies for the league are trying to override important principles that have been instituted to protect boxers. The Muhammad Ali Act is a reform of the sport enacted in 2000 that seeks to protect the rights and welfare of fighters with desirable transparency in contracts and the relationship with promoters. Eddie Hearn praised the achievements of Dana White in the UFC, but refused to believe that the same could work with boxing. In another interview, Hearn added, "I think Dana has a great position in MMA, where you can control the fighter, the publicity, everything. You have to do what you're told. That's not going to work in boxing. Also, fighters are drastically overpaid in boxing, and the margins in MMA are different, so it's going to be interesting." Eddie Hearn gave Dana White a challenge and said that he may not be ready for the worst business in the world. Hearn said that boxing doesn't work with full control, just like MMA. He stated that a person has to sleep with one eye open and expect everything to change in the morning. He added that every promoter is hustling to make deals in the boxing world.
Boxing is the worst business in the world, and I hope these guys have got the appetite to be up all fucking night and sleep with one eye open every single day, because you're not going to get control where you can go to bed at 10 o'clock in the morning and wake up at 8 o'clock in the morning and expect the industry and your situation to be exactly the same, because it don't work like that. Every fucker is out there hustling every single day. Guess what? I'm one of them and all.
Eddie mentioned that there is room for everybody in the sport, and all of them can work together without fighting over every single detail. He welcomed Dana and his team with open arms and also expects them to be prepared for some very tough nights.
So if you're coming, I hope you're ready. And we want to welcome you because, there's room for everybody. And I think this is a positive thing for the sport.
Dana White said that Turki Alalshikh is already the dominant player in boxing right now, and that his role will be to run the business with him. Dana also accepted boxing as a tough business and said, "This is not an easy business. A lot of people tried to get into this sport, the fight business. It looks like a fun business to be in until you start spending money. Turki and his crew found out quickly that it's tougher than it seems. He came to me and worked out a deal that we run the business." Meanwhile, Dana White has numerous new plans for boxing and expressed his desire to reorganize the sport. Speaking to reporters after a UFC event, White elaborated on the type of fighters he aims to sign in the boxing world. He added, "Just like any combat sport, you're looking for the most exciting and talented up-and-coming boxers. That's what I'm looking for with this new promotion. I sell holy shit moments for a living. That's what I do." Additionally, Hearn commented that the sanctioning bodies are a very important part of boxing, and there have been a lot of businesses who have tried to demolish this model but have failed badly. He said that a one belt, one federation, and one champion policy doesn't work in boxing.
Gotcha. Do you think sanctioning bodies are an important part of boxing?
Yep.
And they should remain?
Yep. I've had, I've had multiple conversations in the past with, major companies, investors. Right, is there a roll-up of boxing? What you do is you just buy all the companies and you just create one belt, one champ. No, you're never going to put people out of business in boxing.
Furthermore, Eddie Hearn's rival and former boxer Oscar De La Hoya echoed the same sentiments and shared that the fighters love fighting for belts. De La Hoya remarked that the boxing landscape is evolving quickly and noted that the WBC has been a long-standing organization. He said that he will observe how Turkey handles the changes moving forward.
It's their event. I'm sure Suleiman didn't take it well. I'm sure Suleiman is probably thinking, wow, hey, the WBC, my father was past president. The WBC has been around forever. Fighters love the WBC. So Suleiman has to be a little hurt maybe, but I'm not sure exactly what their relationship is or how they're going to work it out or what they're going to do. But fighters love fighting for belts. That's the bottom line.
Oscar further noted that during his press conference with William Skull, Canelo was denied the WBC belt. He mentioned that since the event is hosted by Turki Alalshikh and he is compensating Canelo, Turkey has the authority to make decisions, including denying Canelo an opportunity to pose with his belt.
Turkey has his plans. He has his plans, that's it. And he's gonna do what he wants to do. And, I have my plans. Because boxing is the sport I love, and if Turkey didn't want the WBC, then that's his event. He paid Canelo, he's paying Skull, the Ring magazine is, so they can do whatever they want to do.
Eddie Hearn echoed the same thing as De La Hoya and mentioned that fighters love fighting for belts. He stated that no one can come and deny the fighters a chance to fight for a WBC or a Ring magazine belt because they have been around for generations. Furthermore, Eddie stated that as much as he likes his own company, he would never go ahead and create a new belt because he isn't stupid.
Fighters care about belts. Fighters care about legacy. People said to me before, what about if you created a Matchroom belt? Listen, as much as I love my company and I think Matchroom is, the greatest thing ever, I'm not stupid enough to think that a fighter would sacrifice fighting for a WBC championship or a Ring magazine championship to fight for a Matchroom belt. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. They have seen their heroes walk before them in iconic moments, photos, videos, of the green and gold belt, of the Ring magazine belt, right? And they want that belt. Belts matter.
On the contrary, Eddie Hearn gave his take on Dana White and Turki Alalshikh's new boxing league. There was some uncertainty around whether White could pull it off, particularly with bigger boxing names. Moreover, Hearn doesn't plan on getting involved with the initial ventures of the league, even if it means skipping on the Mega Crawford-Canelo bout. He added, "I don't get the feeling it's like the big name fighters. I think maybe they'll be looking at a lower level to sort of elevate and make those guys stars." Eddie was also uncertain if Dana could use his own model and apply it in boxing. He shared, "I don't know if it works, if I'm honest, but these guys are very smart, very powerful, and they have a great platform, so you wouldn't bet against them." Dana White mentioned that although he has criticized boxing in the past, he is now committed to making positive changes in the sport. He discussed the improvements needed to enhance boxing and make it better. White expressed his desire for top fighters to compete against each other, providing fans with exciting, high-profile matches. He also highlighted the abundance of talent currently available, which should be utilized effectively.
I wouldn't be sitting here right now if it wasn't for the sport of boxing. That's where I started, and I've been talking a lot of smack about boxing for a long time, and now here we are. And I'm looking forward to implementing changes and things that I think would definitely help the sport. Simple things like, the best fight the best. How about that? You see a lot of guys. There's a lot of talent that we've been looking at out there right now.
Dana White has commented on the work he has to do for boxing and the strategy he will be implementing over time. He revealed, "We got a lot of work to do over the next couple weeks. I got a big boxing meeting on Wednesday. Not to mention I've talked a lot of shit about boxing for the last 25 years. So I've got to get to work and figure out not just the infrastructure, who we're going to hire." Meanwhile, Eddie Hearn explained his own ambitions for boxing and said that he will achieve those goals with or without the biggest investors in boxing. He mentioned that he wants to turn his fighters into superstars and has certain numbers in his mind that he wants to achieve.
My goal, my hole-in-one, my 9-darter, my undisputed championship is hitting my numbers and taking the business to the next level. Whether that's another round of investment, whether that's an inevitable float on the stock market, I have numbers and targets to hit.
Hearn commented that he will achieve his goals whether he has to make deals on the backside, behind the scenes, or take a commission out of the promotion.
Whatever way. Whether I'm running Riyadh season at the front, whether I'm making deals around the back for my fighters and taking a commission on my fight, it doesn't matter to me.
Meanwhile, Ryan Garcia has also reacted to the new boxing league and said that if Dana pays the fighters like he does in the UFC, then he may not like it. He also said that Dana is a great guy and he will be good for boxing as a whole.
If they pay like the UFC, we might not like it, but I'm happy Dana White is getting involved. He's a great dude and I'm sure they're gonna do big things.
In addition to his comments about the new boxing league, Dana White reacted to Canelo Alvarez's praise for the new boxing venture with Turkey. The Mexican superstar effectively welcomed him into the pound-for-pound sport. White stated, "To hear that some of the bigger stars are excited that we're getting into the sport is definitely a good thing, definitely not a bad thing." Meanwhile, Hearn mentioned that there is a lot of controversy surrounding Dana White and whether he will take revenge on boxing as a sport. He said that people are more worried about how things will negatively affect others rather than focusing on themselves. He stated that he gives White and his team complete support and wants to see where he takes boxing from here.
This Dana White stuff's so interesting. And I think the reaction of people really goes to show the confidence, the belief that they have in their position and their ability and where they are in their life. People get excited, agitated. People worry about how it's going to negatively affect others. Do you know how toxic that is? Do you know how toxic that is?
Sports commentator Ariel Helwani harshly criticized the significant transformation in boxing, asserting that the sport will undergo a permanent change. He revealed that instead of competing for multiple belts like the WBO, WBC, or IBF, boxers will now fight for a single title with unified rankings. Ariel claimed that White and Turkey will take over the sport and completely destroy it, disregarding anyone's concerns.
Make no mistake about it, boxing as we know it is going to change. This very, very powerful entity is going to change boxing as we know it. It's going to look nothing like these other boxing promotions. They are not going to adhere to the old standards set in boxing. You know how they were fighting for the WBA title on Saturday at Barclays? They ain't fighting for no WBA. They ain't fighting for no WBC. They ain't fighting for no IBF, WBO, none of that. They're going to create their own belt, their own rankings. They're not going to adhere to any of it.
Popular YouTuber True Geordie remarked that Dana White aims to take control of the boxing world in the same manner he has with the UFC. He stated that Dana has established his business to a level where he faces no real competition and eliminates any rivals that dare to challenge him.
What is Dana White's goal if he's actually getting into boxing when he's already killed it with the UFC? Why bother? There's only one word to sum it up: dominance. Dana White would not enter this game when he is king of one world to come and play second fiddle in another one. No chance. And you look at the way Dana White has built that business, has dominated every single competition who's tried to come up against the UFC.
Do you think Turki Alalshikh will cut ties with all the promoters? What changes do you expect in boxing now? We would love to hear your thoughts. Let us know in the comments section below and subscribe for more content like this.